Miss Heritage Global is a pageant that not only looks to entertain its audience, but also to educate them on global heritage. Today, finalists from 51 countries, including Japan, France, the US, the UK, Canada, Ghana, and Zimbabwe, are set to take part in the pageantry. Khanyi Mbau and comedian Mpho Popps are the hosts of this event, which is being held in Thohoyandou, that's in Limpopo. For more on this, let's speak to Nhlanhla Shabangu, who's the chair of Miss Heritage Global, who joined us via our video link this morning. And Nhlanhla, it's great to see you. Thanks so much indeed for making time to chat to us. What an interesting event this is. I guess as a start, how would you describe to someone what our global heritage is and what that looks like?
Oh, well, greetings to you and to your viewers at home. Indeed, we are hosting one of the biggest pageants in Africa, which is domiciled in Africa, but it's for the world. We are hosting those many countries, as I've mentioned. It's the first of its kind to be hosted in Africa by an African organization. Well, I think our heritage is a homogeneous one globally, wherein we are a melting pot of different cultures, of different identities, and yet we are one. You know, we are united in our diversity. So ours is exactly that. Our uniqueness and our diversity.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we'll be able to continue to hear you. It seems like the audio issue has been fixed now. Perhaps you can take us through, the kind of countries that are involved here and the kind of contributions they make to this melting pot you're speaking about.
Well, look, there's an avalanche of countries that are represented here. We've got an exodus of African countries, Africans in the diaspora. We've got Europeans in their own diaspora as well. We've got Zimbabwe representing SADC, of course. We've got home advantage, home ground. South Africa is here as the host country. We've got UK, we've got the USA, we've got Colombia, we've got China, we've got Australia, and many, many other countries. So it's a huge extravaganza of excitement happening here. Well, there's been quite a number of activities that have been taking place. The girls got to visit heritage sites such as Mapungubwe, where they learned about our history. They went to they also went to the Kruger National Park, where they also got to interact with our animals, and they got to travel and traverse the park as it is. And they also got involved in cooking competition, mainly all of them cooking their indigenous food from their diverse background, and all of us tasting, different cuisines from all over the world. So that has been some of the exciting engagements, or rather activities, that all our pageant participants have been doing. Sure.
So that's what they're doing as part of the competition, I guess. For lack of a better term, we could say that's what it is. But what happens after the pageant itself? In other words, what typically is the business of a Miss Heritage Global? Is that the right term?
Yes. Well, our business, our efforts really is to foster social cohesion, which is paramount to us. Our vision is to see all of us as a race, coming together and understanding and appreciating each other's uniqueness, and learning from one another and making this world that we live in a better place to live in.
Yeah. And perhaps, this is the kind of moment where you're hoping that there'll be this kind of message sent out throughout the rest of the country. Speaking of the country itself, I had mentioned to somebody else I spoke to earlier today that we live at a time in this country where it's difficult to speak about this kind of event and not touch on the effects of load shedding. How much of a headache is that for you?
Well, indeed, it has been a nightmare for us, working under such, tough climate and conditions. However, as a team, we've had a contingent plan in place, and we've been affected to a very small degree than a larger degree, because we had planned for such situation. So we are on top of things, and everything is going to go on smoothly. Won't be affected. So all the plans are in place.
Sure.
So we won't be affected at all today.
All right. And when can
it is unfortunate that it's happening. It is unfortunate that it's happening in our country, where all, where all delegates from the world are here and converging on our shores and experiencing such. It's not a good story to tell.
Yeah, that's just one way of putting it, right? When can we expect the final outcome of the pageant itself? When are you announcing the new Miss Global, Heritage Global?
Well, the pageant is taking place tonight at 8 p.m. at Kalahari Waterfront in Nandoni Dam in Venda, Thohoyandou. 8 p.m. the show starts, and by 9:30 we will have the winner, who will take the coveted crown to wherever it's supposed to go, and the prize money, of course, and many other beautiful things that come with the coveted crown.
All right, and all the very best for the day ahead. Nhlanhla Shabangu, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. He's the chair of the Miss Heritage Global 2022. Once again, thanks very much indeed.